school, I can't get Zoom working. It's not letting me log in. So instead of faffing around with that anymore, I am live in the group and I will look out for comments. And if you have any questions about anything doTERRA, any of the oils, or even anything not doTERRA, I'm happy to answer those as well to the best that I can. If I don't know the answers, then I will come back to you. But what I thought I would start with sharing is somebody came and asked me this week about why doTERRA are a little bit more on the expensive side compared to oils that you could probably buy in TK Maxx or Boots, Holland and Barrett, Amazon, other websites that specifically sell um, natural well-being products. So I will share about this because this is a big thing. And when I first came across doTERRA, I thought the same. I thought, well, no, actually, I don't need to buy those oils because I can buy them for much cheaper elsewhere. And I was using a little website that I'd found on Google. It was a really sweet essential oil website, and then when hello, I can't see who's watching, but if you have any questions, do pop them in the comments. I'm answering questions about essential oils, and at the moment I'm talking about why doTERRA oils are a little bit more money than the average oil. So this is something that before I got my oils, I was like, yeah, I can get my oils for cheaper. No, thank you. And then about a year and a half later, after that, I was really still very interested in the oils and thought, God, I would really like to try them. And as soon as I got them, I realised why doTERRA oils are a little bit more expensive. The quality of them is the best in the world. They are 20, maybe more years ahead of the rest of the essential oil industry, the way that they source their oils. So by sourcing, I mean they go to great lengths to look for they really want to work with farmers in developing countries. And when they're working with farmers in developing countries, it really helps them to give back rather than them going and working with a farm, say in France, and then they're growing lavender there, frankincense, lemongrass, rosemary, lemon, like all the oils coming from one farm. It would be so easy for doTERRA to do that, but what they do is they go to great lengths to go to where that oil is native to, firstly, and also where they feel that they can really make a difference and change lives in the world. So that is number one, is the way that they source their oils is just blows out of the water compared to any other company. And they really go to town on that. Secondly, is they pay their farmers a really good price. So for example, frankincense, before they went and made a partnership with the frankincense farmers in Somalia, they were getting ripped off by some middlemen that were selling it to into the markets in the Middle East. And doTERRA came in and they said, look, we're going to pay you on time, really good prices every month of the year. And for 6 months of the year, you're going to rest your trees and take care of them. You're not going to take the resin off them. And they thought this was fantastic because they'd been hacking at their trees all year round just to get enough resin to barely get paid any money to survive. And so doTERRA have come in and they've brought their expertise and knowledge as well to work with the farmers, teaching the farmers how to really look after the trees. And so then these trees will be here for generations and generations and generations and generations into the future. Whereas before, those trees were really heading into decline. This is really, really exciting, and doTERRA can have this, it's a big company and lots of people are buying oils, and how will they sustain this? But doTERRA have this at the top of their priorities, to make sure that wherever that the oils are sourced from, that those plants are being extremely well looked after and rested, so they will last for generations after generations after generations. So that's number two. Number one was they source the oils native to where those plants come from. Number two is the paying the farmers on time. Number three is the way they distill the essential oils is incredible. So every different plant will take different times to distill. So some plants will take less time and some plants will take more. So for example, lavender takes 90 minutes and frankincense takes 90 hours. So if you can imagine, some companies will just want to whiz through that process to just get it bottled out on the shelf. It's going to smell a little bit like frankincense, fine. Let's just get it whiz done. doTERRA go to extreme lengths to make sure that the plants are distilled at just the right amount of time. There's no rushing the process. And then the other thing that they do within the distilling is they make sure that there's no contamination. And this could be, so for example, there's an oil called clove bud. And what can happen with clove bud is when they're collecting the buds off the clove tree for the oil, is twigs can get in there and leaves and soil. And doTERRA go to great lengths to make sure that it's just the buds that go in. And if any of these other bits go in, it contaminates the clove bud. It's not classed as clove bud oil anymore because there's other things in there. So doTERRA go to great lengths to make sure that the clove bud oil is 100% clove bud oil. So coming on to contamination, many companies will store their oils in plastic bottles when, say, they're taking the oil from the distillery to where they're going to get bottled into the glass bottles. Plastic can leach, the chemicals of the plastic can leach into the oil, and that can get poured into the glass bottles and sold to you in TK Maxx or wherever the cheaper oils come from. And doTERRA are very careful with this, the way that they store the oils. And then they get taken to doTERRA's testing lab, and every drop of oil is tested to make sure it's 100% oil. It's not got any twigs or leaves or soil in there. It's not had any plastic leaching in there. It's not had anybody put anything else in there to make it up to what it is. And doTERRA test it, and then they send the oil that they've tested to an outside, a third-party laboratory that has nothing to do with doTERRA, and they then test it again. And if it's 100% pure oil, then it gets bottled and labelled as that oil and sent out as doTERRA oil. So I've just lost my trail of thought there. One momento. Yeah, so every bottle of oil, if you have a look on the bottom, there's a code. And what you can do is you can type that code into sourcetoyou.com. It's really interesting. So I recommend, if you do have doTERRA oils, go to sourcetoyou.com and type in the code on the bottom of one of your bottles and just look at the information that they are providing. So, for example, peppermint has a certain amount of menthol in. That's one of the properties of peppermint. And you can look at how much is in that actual bottle. So every batch that they're going to do is going to change, because each time the plant is grown and harvested, the weather conditions are very different. And this makes the properties within the oil change. So doTERRA are incredibly like 100% transparent, every part of the oil's journey, from it's where it's been grown, to the farmers who are looking after it, to how much we're paying the farmers. Like, we're paying the farmers really good money. And then the next part of the journey that they're transparent with is the distilling of the oil from the plant, and then the testing. So every part of the journey is A, transparent, but B, is just so in alignment with good practice and giving back and changing people's lives. And then on the other side of the bottle, when we get these bottles in our hands, they're changing our lives and helping us in so many ways. So that journey, to me, it means so much. And I'd been looking for something like this for a long time, and I felt so like I just got home when I came across how transparent and how caring this company is. And they're just phenomenal leaders in the way that they are working. So all of this answers quite clearly why doTERRA oils are a little bit more expensive than the average oil. So in the essential oil industry, there's no governing body to say you've got to have your essential oil like this or like that. There's nothing. So anyone, I could tomorrow set up a essential oil company and distill, say for example peppermint. I could distill the peppermint at home and make up my own bottles. I don't have to tell anybody. I can just put a label on it and say it's 100% peppermint oil. But what companies do is they contaminate that, and they can either cut it down. So say they've got 50%. Say, I heard this story about a tea tree farmer who used to provide essential oils for other companies, and he found out, this is a guy in, this is a farmer in Australia, he found out that they were cutting his oils up, like people cut drugs up to make them and put things in them. And he found out that this company was doing that with his tea tree plants. They were getting watered down, or there was synthetic replacements going in there to bulk it out and go a lot further. And he was so upset, and he came away from this company, and he was just about going bust. And he met somebody from doTERRA sourcing team, and he was just overjoyed that doTERRA only work with 100% pure plant. So there's so many companies out there that will be cutting up the oils and putting in something that is not pure oil, which is, when you think about it, is pretty crazy, because you're buying lavender oil off Amazon, and you're buying it because it's 100% pure lavender, and you think, oh wow, this is so nice, I'm putting pure plant properties on my body. And actually within that there could be synthetic version of lavender, like a man-made version of lavender, and we're thinking we're putting it on our bodies, and it's not what it is. And I never knew this. I didn't have a clue about this. So when I came to learn this, I was just blown away. And when you open these bottles and you sit there and you close your eyes, so if any of you've got them nearby, just inhale from the bottle, and you can, I can just smell it already. You can, wow, 100% pure plant in that bottle. It's amazing. This every day I come to these bottles and I'm just wowed by how incredible they are. So yeah, that is why they can be cheaper as well, because they're not going to these great lengths to make sure that the oils are pure. They could be just using a very cheap alternative, and there might be one drop of real lavender in there. There might not be any. But we don't know. But with doTERRA, we know because they test every single drop, and the code is on the bottom of the bottle for you to go and check out on the sourcetoyou.com website, and you know that what's in the bottle, it says on the label, and we know that. So yeah, just thinking if I've forgotten anything. Do you have any questions? I can't see who's watching because see if I can see. No. No. I wonder why. But yeah, that is why they are a little bit more expensive. And to me, it makes me so like my heart is full and I feel in alignment with where I am spending my money, knowing that when I am buying a bottle of frankincense for £57 wholesale, which is a lot of money, but like a lot of that money is going to go to the farmer who lives in Somalia and works so hard to look after the trees and farms the trees and tends and cares for them. And then they're coming to me and I use them in my face cream. I use frankincense in my face cream. I use frankincense to really bring me back into my center, and it really helps me to ground. Frankincense was one of my aha moments when I first got doTERRA oils. I never ever smelt frankincense, and I'd been like my mum brought us up with oils, but I'd never really come across frankincense. And when I opened the bottle, I was just blown away. It was like a medicine that my heart and soul was searching for. And I just, oh, every morning I would put it in my face cream and just spend a few moments inhaling. And I felt like there was such a shift in me, and I felt very held, and I have ever since by these oils. They are always there for me whenever I'm feeling sad, stressed, lonely, hyperactive and need to calm down, can't get to sleep, worried about my children, worried about what's going on in the world. I've got dry hair or a spot or whatever. These oils are always there for me, and I trust them, and I trust doTERRA. So there we go. That is why I love doTERRA, and why I'm more than happy just to pay that tiny little bit more, because I know that they're the real thing. And all the other companies out there, there's no one else sharing the test results of the oils. There's nobody else doing it. So it just makes you wonder. And I know there are companies out there that are pure. doTERRA did do some testing on the other companies, and they said that 95% of the essential oils that are available to buy on the market are unpure, and just 5% is pure, and doTERRA makes up some of that. So oh no, doTERRA doesn't make up that, sorry. doTERRA doesn't make up that 5%. doTERRA aren't in that. So yeah, there we go. Does anyone have any questions? Let me know. Even if you wanted to message me afterwards, I'm happy to help. Cool. I will see you all in Freedom School. We've got some really fun things coming up in December for Christmas, and watch out for those. All right, lots of love and see you soon.